Now, I'd like to move to the next point of our program, which will be the session number 1, focusing on history. Today, we are going to host 3 sessions, history, education, and practice. Each session has, we have 1 hour for each session. In each session, first, our presenters from Sri Lanka, they will present their research findings, their research reports for about 30 minutes. Then we'll get just a brief comment from our colleagues and from experts from particular field, and then around 20 or 25 minutes for discussions. So every one of you, every single participants, not only joint research team members, are welcome to join the discussion, to share opinions, questions, everything. So now it's time to start with the session number 1, with the history session. And I would like to ask Venerable Dr. Omalpe Somananda to start his presentation.
Good morning to all. I would like to welcome you all to my presentation. First of all, I would like to thank Sukutugu University and the ARIISW team members who are organized this marvelous discussion today. I hope to briefly describe the subjects of this presentation at the request of Asian Research Institute for International Social Work under the guidance of Professor Joseph Gohari. We are in the research team in Sri Lanka. Organization was found that was properly organized, operating Buddhist social work in Sri Lanka. Then we start our research was conduct about particular organization. The name of the organization, we call it is Sri Bodhiraja Foundation. It was the founder of the foundation who gave the keynote speech today. Most Venerable Dr. Omalpe Somananda Tero. The brief introduction to the presentation, the research is based on case study of Sri Bodhiraja Foundation in Sri Lanka. And the research and methodology we used at the field visit and the transit work, in-depth interview, focus group discussion and observation. Based on these tools, we collect the information from the particular organization. We visit there and we met the people who are coordinators, the particular organization, and especially we met the inmates, the particular organization. In the Buddhist education history in Sri Lanka, I'm going to discuss in the brief. Then I'm going to move the our main organization called Sri Bodhiraja Foundation. Monastic education dates back to the 9th century Buddhist civilization in Sri Lanka. According to the Mahavamsa and Deepavamsa, which contain some of the oldest historical record of the island. Monasteries and the temple were the first educational centers for both the Buddhist laity and the lay people in Sri Lankan village. The constructions of the Mahavihara, it's called the center of the Anuradhapura. At that time, Devanampiyatissa, the name, the king name called Devanampiyatissa, and the Abhayagiri. Abhayagiri means one oldest temple. At the time of Vattagamini Abhaya, Vattagamini Abhaya means the king name, open up new chapter in the history of education in Sri Lanka. The Pirivana as a dwelling place for monks who studied at this institution. The Pirivana took education beyond the aristocracy. Monks took the teaching a lay children. The first real school in Sri Lanka were monasteries. Pirivana is the Sinhalese variant of the Pali words Parivana, which refers to the living quarters or official residence of Buddhist monks. According to the Visuddhimagga, it means the path of purification, written in Sri Lanka by the Indian monks Buddhaghosa in around 430. The term implies that the living quarters are large scale. Pirivani is primarily regarded as a tradition of education that is esteemed for its quality, its contribution to society, and its historical value. According to our research findings, Lankananda Thero, 1980, he said that Pirivani education, monastery education, Aram education, Pansal education, it means temple education, and Vihar education are common terms used by most of the local and Korean authors to interpret the traditional Buddhist education of the past. But there are some scholars who believe that the term Pirivana implies a different meaning when compared with other terms, Arama, Pansala, and Vihara. Currently, there are 3 levels of Pirivana in Sri Lanka, serving both monks and lay people. At the primarily, we call it is Mulika Pirivana. It is a level 1. They offer 5 years of education during which the students are taught 6 subjects. We call it is Pali, Sanskrit, Sinhala, English, Tripitaka studies, and mathematics, followed by an examination that enables them to study at the senior level. At the senior level, the student continue the 6 subjects they studied at the primary level with additional studies in subjects like philosophy, the history of religious, linguistic, Ayurvedic, and astrology. It is intended that with this advanced knowledge, Pirivana students will be able to gain entrance to university level from Pirivana institution. Along with the current social changes, many changes were also taking place in the monastic society. But the most expected by society was discipline, sober, and non-violence. The Bodhiraja Foundation arose from the Bhikkhu Training Center, which focused on monks training in order to meet societal needs. The Sri Bodhiraja Foundation, which was established with the foundations of Pirivana education, will plan and implement social welfare program in addition to the education. I would like to move to provide brief history on Sri Bodhiraja Foundation. This institution, actually it is one temple, it started in 1960 under the name Bodhirukkaramaya. And now it is performed many religious and social service as Bodhiraja Dharmayatana and Sri Bodhiraja Foundation. The founder of this temple is Venerable Lalpe Srinivasa Nayaka Thero. After his death in the year 1972, Venerable Dr. Omalpe Somananda Thero became the head of this temple. From then until 1991, Dr. Omalpe Somananda Thero conducted his religious service at the center of this temple. Then the year 1991 marked a milestone for this temple because the Sri Bodhiraja Foundation was established this year in 1991. The Sri Bodhiraja Foundation is based on Amlipitiya in Ratnapura district. It is one remote area and it is far away from Colombo to the Amlipitiya. It is from remote area. In the particular area is hometown of founder Venerable Dr. Sobita Nayaka Thero. Sri Bodhiraja Foundation is the non-profit charity organization in Sri Lanka. The foundation has been registered as an incorporated body by the Sri Lankan Parliament Act number 30 of 1993. The foundation has since then expanded to provide educational, social and development projects for raising the spiritual, physical and economic well-being of the rural village. The foundation began with the primary goal of addressing the difficulties faced by residents of the area and improving their lives through a variety of religious and social programs. Then I would like to move the objective of this organization. The protecting and promoting Theravada Buddhist philosophy and way of life is the first objectives we found from their particular organization. To propagate Dhamma and maintain friendly relation with Buddhist organization at country in and abroad, conducting vocational training course for the youth of Sri Lanka. Then providing scholarship training in small scale industries, horticulture, and the financial or necessary assistance to establish themselves as useful citizens. The promoting education by establishing and maintaining educational institutions such as Pirivana, school, Dhamma school, preschool, international schools, and providing scholarship. Then the public medical clinics provide food, clothing, and shelter to poor and critically ill patients, providing religious counseling necessary to create spiritually and physically stable, happy, and supportive, fierce social environment. Then, 1960, in the beginning, the temple, 1960. The village of Amlipitiya and its surrounding area have been inhabited by a group of people from various parts of the country. Although the government has implemented some development projects under the Buddha Development Project, it is one governmental project, and Mahavali scheme, it is a government project conducted by Ministry of Mahavali and some social welfare ministry. The living conditions in the area remain substandard, especially in the field of education and health. Those days, the malaria and malnutrition are among the most severe problems, and many young people are unemployed. But in the currently, this situation has changed and urban areas are developing while rural area is still very poor. Finally, I would like to share with you the philosophy of Venerable Dr. Sobita Nayaka Thero. Then will we understand why he formed and found this particular organization. He said that during the interview, social morality cannot be established only by preaching without regard for the basic facilities of the people. This organization, which is started by realizing the duty of monk and continue by teaching his doctrinal themes. Defining is very important point we found from the temple to the village and from the village to the temple. And Venerable Dr. Omalpe Somananda strongly believed that the monk's role is to serve the happiness and well-being of the all beings. He is well aware that without the basic needs are met, there cannot be spiritual growth. Therefore, the strive tirelessly to improve the living standards of poor rural village while sharing his deep knowledge of the Dhamma with all. I'm going to wind up the presentations. Thank you very much for your cooperation. And now we can move to our discussion session. Thank you very much.
Venerable Omalpe Somananda, thank you very much for your presentation on the history of Bodhiraja Foundation and the basic philosophy and with circumstances and some characteristics of the community of the region. So thank you very much again. And well, we have still enough time, plenty of time to discuss. So first, I'd like to invite Shuji Kurita, professor of Ryukoku University in Japan. Kurita sensei, お願いできますか?
Yes, okay.
To share with us a brief comment on Venerable Omalpe Somananda's presentation.
I'm shortly said. So, thank you for the presentation for Dr. So his pronunciation is difficult. Omalpe Somananda, is it right? Yeah. So,
Yes.
I'm Kurita, Ryukoku University in Japan. So, I evaluate the presentation from the 2 points of view. One is from the methodology, and the another is from the content of the presentation. Yeah. So a good point is that sorry. In the research, Professor used the scientific methodology with precisely, especially using scientific research methodology is an important and difficult point for Buddhism social work, because Buddhism is not familiar with science. On the contrary, Buddhism grasps a person as a whole. So it means Buddhism isn't analyzed, but to realize or mastered. However, these researchers have to explain Buddhism and Buddhist social work by the way of scientific perspective, maybe to European people, understand. This is very difficult, but Dr. Omalpe did it. That's a great, I think. And next, I will comment the content of the presentation. Yeah. First of all, the purpose of Buddhist Bodhiraja Foundation, is it right? Is the pronunciation? The
Bodhiraja Foundation.
Bodhiraja Foundation has very unique training system, and monks get the training in order to meet societal needs. Usually, I think a monk concentrates himself. After he got an enlightenment, naturally, he helped people in compassion, I think. Dr. So the keynote speech doctor said he mentioned the Buddhist words my life is depend on others, and firstly is myself, and second is other is important, he said. So it means without so after he got an enlightenment, he will help people in compassion. I said it means without training usually. So he is trained how to realize himself. He doesn't learn how to help people to community in Buddhist school usually. The second objectives of the organization is comprehensive. It's very comprehensive. Of course, social worker helps people comprehensive usually. Buddhism also too. But in modern society like Japan, people cannot get an aid comprehensively. For example, if I have a stomach ache, I go to the hospital only. But at the same time, I cannot go to the company, and I cannot help my children at that time. So those things will make you and myself and have an anxiety. So I have troubles and health and social problems, and also my mentality. Yeah. So if I have solved my problem, I must go to each facility at the same time. It is difficult. If I got comprehensive help, at the same time, it is convenient to solve these problems. So the organization you mentioned is a good idea because of the comprehensive health, I think. The last one is a philosophy of the organization, also good, I think. You mentioned the last, from the temple to the village, and from the village to the temple, might be based on a concept of mutuality. And this idea might come from the concept of all things have no inherent existence, which is one of the concept of the four seals in Buddhism. The organization proves exactly Buddhist social work, I think. Finally, the organization activity remind me of the activity of Japanese old temple. For example, the Todaiji temple in Nara, in Japan. Todaiji in the 8th century, it's very old one. The temple helped poor people, sick persons by medicine and pharmaceutical, and training a monk. So this is a comprehensive activity like the organization you have presented. So in all days, maybe the monks' activity is the same as in the world, I think. In Japan, the comprehensive help is nowadays usually is held. But I think that these emphasize the material without spirituality. I think it is weak for spirituality in Japan's social work helping. But the organization you mentioned includes spirituality. It is a characteristics Buddhist social work, I think. So during so long time, I haven't used the English, so made a mistake. You understand? It's okay. Sorry. Thank you very much.
Yes, we understood. Thank you very much, Professor.
Kurita sensei, ありがとうございました。Professor Kurita, thank you very much for your comments. And well, for pointing out some essential parts, essential components of not only of some history, but also of philosophy and Buddhist teaching, which underpins various activities of Bodhiraja Foundation. So thank you very much again. Venerable Omalpe Somananda, do you want to react? Do you want to say anything or share some comments or kind of answer to Professor Kurita's comment?
Yes, actually, he did not ask any question, but he has provided comments. Yes, if any the questions we can answer, because we as at a team, we went to the temple, the particular organization, we visit all institution. There are different places they are conducting many activities. In the next presenter, we'll present what are the activities they are doing. And if any question we can share, even most venerable Omalpe Somananda also with us. If any question, he also can provide the answers to the question.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, yes, it was, and I'd like, I think Venerable Dr. Omalpe Somananda is still with us. I'm not sure if he can stay for all sessions. And yes, in chat you can see that Venerable Oshita Dayan from Japan, he raised a question about Buddhist text, about suttas, which refers to the part you mentioned in your speech. I think it's also related to history and to Venerable Omalpe Somananda's presentation. So I would like to ask you if you have an answer to Oshita Dayan's question, which text or which Buddhist text or which Buddhist script referred about the part that Buddha wanted to cultivate, to educate social welfare workers. I'd like to ask you to share your knowledge with us.
Since the Dr. Abildes, she want to ask question, he hand raised.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. So, yeah, that's the first. My question is this foundation of Bodhi. Just this foundation. Is it just exactly? It's like foundation we call in the Western country, like foundation. Or like I just got this understanding, just is this foundation is nationwide foundation, or is this foundation can represent the nationwide history? Or I got this kind of question, whether it's history is only one foundation as an organization, or is it foundation is the nationwide organization, history of the nationwide organization? This is my first question. The second question is, it looks like this foundation is very tied, connected or linked with this history of the Buddhist history in the country, Sri Lanka. So this is, again, my understanding was, is if it's established by someone in the famous representative of Buddhist person, how this I understood that Sri Lanka is kind of multicultural community. So whether this other community can accept this foundation as this center of history of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. These two questions. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Abildes. And actually, this Bodhiraja Foundation is national-wide organization registered under the Parliament Act They are conducting many places in Sri Lanka. And also, it is not only the focus on the Buddhist people, but also the many ethnicity in Sri Lanka. They are also getting the beneficiaries from the particular organization. One example I would like to share with you. There's one children home functioning under the Bodhiraja Foundation, especially for Tamil students. Tamil students is one ethnic group in Sri Lanka, and Sinhala, Buddhist, and Hinduism, and many uh, part of ethnic groups are getting many benefits from this particular organization. Dr. Omalpe Somananda, you can provide some comments.
Yeah, yeah. Is it correct? No space for me. You have already answered. Actually, the social welfare work is to be, Buddha says, Chattaro Vanna Samasama. Chattaro Vanna Samasama. For the Buddha's welfare work, there is no particular ethnic group or any particular language or particular, even no particular religion. Mankind is common to, it is common usage and also common value. Each and every human being is having same value, same interest, and same right. And then again, far beyond, Buddhism goes, as what I have already told, Buddha has given, Buddha has gone beyond that territory in order to welfare those animals even, and also nature. Sri Lanka, multicultural, yes. Multi-religious, yes. We are concerned in all the people, their wanting and necessity. We do not find, you do not consider, we do not consider about their ethnicity or anything. And then ours is home, children home, as an example, as what Venerable Somananda has given, that the one place is one Rakwana, the rural and estate areas. That home is for the Tamil children, girls, and then there are some other places which is called, one is called Visakha home, sexually abused girls. That mean child mother's home. They are under 18 years old, and then they are pregnant, those who have been victimized for sexual abuse, and they are sent to us. In this particular home, Visakha home, nowadays there are 16 child mothers. There are Tamil girls, Muslim girls, and Sinhala as well. All of them are actually behaving well, working together as own sisters, and we treat them equally. Yeah, and then another place called Hambantota, far south, which is called Kalabala Bindu, the children, the garden for the mischievous children. It is called Kalabala Bindu, means mischievous children. We do have around 60 to 70 children nowadays. Daily, they are being treated with certain particular program. There are many Muslims. About more than half of them are Muslims. The others, Christians, Muslims, Hindus, and all ethnic and religious groups. And of course, it is good action. We have to work for the humanity. We have worked with that 4 bases: Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha, where there is no ethnicity or any religious particular what you call religious, or any what you call no any special concern, no sovereignty at all. Thank you.
Thank you for comprehensive responses. Thank you.
And thank you very much for asking, Adilbish. And I would like to go back to the original question raised by Osta Dayen. Venerable Omalpe Somananda, please, could you tell us which scriptures or which Buddhist texts refers to the part that you mentioned in your speech? I mean, the part where that Buddha wanted monks to be social welfare workers. Buddha wanted to cultivate monks or educate monks as social workers.
Yeah, there is no any particular sutta mentioned especially, but we can collect many such factors, and then Mahavagga Pali refers the main purpose of imposing Vinaya rules. Buddha imposed Vinaya rules actually after 20 years of his enlightenment. It was delayed 20 years. And later on, when he imposed these rules and regulations, what you call Vinaya, disciplinary rule, he has given 10 reasons. 10 reasons. He did not just impose, but gave 10. First one is Appasannanang va pasadaya. That means for the well-being of those people who are unhappy. Unhappy people must be happy in order to make them happy. Unhappy people. Unhappy people for what? Maybe because of religion, because of many other social works, social problems, economic problems. And people are overwhelmed by unhappiness with various reasons. And then they are always moody, morose, unhappy with various problems. And such mental situation, a person is behaving with such mental situation, there must be something like satisfaction. Having seen a person calm, quiet, and very compassionate person, everyone is like to meet him and discuss him, and he is happy with such association. See, the welfare. The mentally such, because that one purpose is to make the unhappy people happy. That means Buddha wanted to behave that way by a monk. Monk should behave. Okay, first intention. Monk should behave, make the others happy. Okay, and then second thing is pasannanang abhiyo, by those happy people become more happier. And then again another purpose, the another purpose, the thing is the good people are to make better, bad people to make better. Okay, to guide the people, guide the society. And there are many such intentions had with the Buddha's mind when he imposed this Pesalanam Bhikkунang Pasuviharaya, and so on. And then again, when we refer Karaniyametta Sutta, if you want to achieve your own benefit, which means avoid suffering, get rid from suffering, that is the main purpose of Buddha's teaching. But if you want to achieve that particular achievement, a target, you must behave in this way. What is the way? Karaniya matta kusalena yantang santam padang abhisameccha sakko ujucha sujucha suvachocha samudu anatimane. That means one must be clever enough to solve his own problem. And again, one must be clever to help the others even. Therefore, he says, Sallahuka buddhi santu sakko sujucha suvachocha samudu anatimane. That means gentleness. Okay, gentleness for what? Gentleness with words, gentleness with works, his behavior, for what? It is for the benefit of the others, right? The gentle word is actually it is not because of my own benefit. If I work gently, if I talk gently, if I behave gently, which means it is for the well-being of the others, totally the welfare of the others. Sakkoju, suju, suvachocha, suvacha, mudu, anatimani. Anati means humbleness. Humbleness. Whenever you approach any other person, you must be humble. You can't think that I am a Buddhist monk, I am so and so important person, I am so and so educated person, I am so and so powerful person. No, there is no such category. You must approach those who are needed, those suffering people, those people who are being discriminated, particularly discriminated by economic system, discriminated by social system, discriminated by political system. There are many discriminations in the society. But monks should be nihatamani, anatimani, humble enough to go and approach those people and listen to them. Anatimani. Santussako, who always must be appear with happiness. If we morose, if we are having this sulky mood, who will approach you? Right? You must be happier. Actually, that happiness must be enjoyed within. It can be implemented through your face, through your words, through your work. Right? Such a person is always being approached by the people because why? People are having some confidence. Oh, this man is good. This man is happy man. This man is satisfied. If I go to him, he will never ask something from me, right? You don't like to approach certain people because why? He is demanding this and that. You know, if there is a person, whether he is whatever power he is having, but he is asking for something from you, you never go to him. Therefore, the monk should be a satisfied person. You must be satisfied your own lifestyle. You are having whatever simple things, he must be subhara. Subhara means he must be satisfied with whatever simple things you are having with. Such a person do not become a burden to the society. There are many such regulations we can pick up from here and there, various sutras. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Going back to Ostadayan's question, we might say that there is not, I mean, a sutta or a Buddhist script referring directly to the fact that Buddha wanted to educate social workers or social welfare workers. But as you mentioned, in Vinaya rules and in various suttas, in various scripts, we can find some directions and teachings leading monks to go, to approach and to listen to those who are suffering, who are unhappy, who are discriminated, who are disadvantaged. So in other words, there are I mean, there is a lot of similar points between Vinaya rules and suttas and social welfare theory. Is my understanding right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course, there are many sutras. We have to do certain other research work for that. We find out the enough materials from the Buddhist scriptures to which is encourage our work. Social welfare works are always been encouraged. And you know the Bodhisattva Charya. Bodhisattva come to the sansaric life because of the compassion towards all the living beings. And Buddha himself thought that I must be liberated myself, but only myself, not only myself, but with the others. There is such history of the Siddhartha Gautama, the Bodhisattva, he could have had his own salvation. He could have his own liberation at the time of Dipankara Buddha. You know, he had that mentality, that ability. He could endeavor effort, and then he could meditate and also attain arahantship and eradicate all the defilements. He could be liberated. But what happened? He thought that I must buddhoham bodhisami, then me muttoham mochaye pare sansa muttoham mochaye pare me sansaroga mahabbaya. That is what he had this intention. I will be liberated myself, having liberate the others also. This much enough. I could then I each and every moment, whenever I am having my portion of food into my hand, I must think that I liberate myself with this portion of food. What about my own other fellow members? What about all the other elders and all the other children around me? Do they have enough food? Then I am insisted to think of others each and every moment I am enjoying my life. That is called Bodhisattvacharya. Therefore, the base of the Buddhist teaching is welfare of the others while having welfare yourself. Because you know, as what that professor said, if you are having stomach ache, you can't do anything to the other. First of all, you must go to the doctor and you must be cured. Yes. And then, first of all, you must prepare yourself, and then each and every moment you must behave as a bodhisattva. Bodhisattva concept is depend on the others' welfare, thinking about the welfare of the others. So this concept is everywhere, is spread all over the Buddha's teaching. That is the essence of the teaching.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I can see that Oshita Sensei, if you want to react.
ありがとうございました。全体的な中からそういうエッセンスを掴んで実践するというご回答だったというふうに理解しました。いろんな経典の中に部分的にいろいろと出てるんだなということをもう一度学んでみたいと思います。ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have still 10 minutes for discussion in the history session. The main part of our discussion was, however, focused on philosophy and Buddhist teaching more than history. So I would like to encourage our participants to ask Venerable Dr. Omalpe Somananda more about history of Bodhiraja Foundation, or history of its founder, or of the Buddha temple. Is there any question? If not, may I ask just one question about the historical background? In your presentation, Venerable Omalpe Somananda, you mentioned that it starts in 1960, right? And in 1993, it was the starting point of the foundation. So my question is about needs in 1960s and then in 1990s. What was the reason for a temple to start with various social activities, and what was the reason to build a foundation? I think there was one option was to continue to work as a temple, but in 1993 the foundation was founded. So could you share more about the historical background about the situation in 1960s and in 1990s?
Yes, thank you very much. The questions, actually,
Somananda,
yeah, yes, yeah, you can
so,
answer the question. Yes,
yeah,
Trevor,
I answer.
please.
I think more clear that I can answer yes. That 1993 is the year of registration and recognition of the Parliamentary Act. Actually, our work really started in 1979. 1979 actually started our social welfare work. It was recognized by the Sri Lankan Parliament and registered as the Parliamentary Act in 1993. Okay, and then actual problem was malnutrition and then the educational problems in the area. And then again, we had understood many other problems with drinking water facility in the area. Malnutrition, then at first we approached those Colombo organizations. We asked for the nutritional food for the mothers, pregnant mothers. At the time, many that mean child death was there. The fetus also destroyed by the nature. And then we approached certain organization which is called Dharma Vijay Foundation, well-known organization started by Most Venerable Maria Panyasiya Mahanayaka Thera. I approached them and they helped me with certain milk powder. Then we started distributing milk powder. At the time, we distributed 100 families, 100 mothers, pregnant mothers. And later on, it was increased, and malnutrition problem later we increased with the Sunday school children. We started providing forage, nutritional forage. And then we had those materials from certain organization. We collected those materials from a local village, local houses, and then herbal things. We make porridge, very nutritional program. And those are the main problems what we have faced at first. And then we had the other very incredible problem is water facility. At the time, no drinking water for them, and we started 1980, we started those water facility. And then 1989, we had to face with insurgency problems. And with the insurgency, before the insurgency, we started self-employment program. Because insurgency at the time against the government, many youths organized with certain political unrest. And then I found 1988, when I came from India, I found the employment problem. Then I talked to the Lanka Bank of Ceylon at the time through Dharma Vijay Foundation. We asked for the loans, survival, certain projects to start. We provided 3,000 rupees for 100 youths in the area. I am the guarantor. I am the guarantor. 3,000 rupees. And then later on, actually, most of those youths were killed at the time of the insurgency. And then so on. Many problems encourage us to come to the field.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I could see that there were some social problems and concrete needs in the community, in the field, and it was a start of your activities. Thank you very much for your answer. We have still 3 or 4 minutes, enough for 1 or maybe 2 questions. Does anyone want to ask more about history of Bodhiraja Foundation or about philosophy or theory underpinning Bodhiraja Foundation's activities? Still enough time for at least 1 question.
Sir,
Yes.
can
Yes, if it's possible, could you switch your camera on, or just your microphone's okay? And please
yeah,
your name and affiliation if possible.
I'm from Kerala. I'm from Kerala. I'm a social worker. Can you?
Oh, I'm afraid we have a problem with a connection. I cannot hear you
Am
properly.
I audible, sir? Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, now it's okay. Now it's okay. Now I can hear you.
I don't know about the. I'm from India. I'm a social. Can you hear me, sir?
Oops. Oh,
Can you hear me, sir?
a little bit. There are some noises, and now it's okay. But I still have your question.
I don't like to please.
May I ask you to? I'm very sorry. Probably because of the connection problem, we cannot hear you. And could you share your question using a chat? Could you just write down your question in the chat, and we can answer, or presenters can answer it later, or is it possible? I'm very sorry about that.
Yes, Sensei, and actually she's explained that she's from Kerala, from India. Maybe it's a network problem.
Yeah,
And
network problem.
yes, if we can send the question to the chat box, we can send her the answer.
Okay, if it's possible, please use the chat box and send your question, and I'm sure our presenters will answer it later or during the next discussion session. I'm very sorry, but there was a technical problem and it was impossible to share your audio. Oh, I'm from India and about activities of the foundation. Thank you very much for your question. I think some activities were included in Dr. Omalpe Somananda's presentation, but just very briefly, just in 1 or 2 minutes, could you summarize activities of your foundation? May I ask Omalpe Somananda to summarize activities of his foundation, just very briefly? Or Omalpe Somananda, are you going to answer?
Actually, I did not touch the activities because in the next presentation we'll cover whole education activity. In the coming presenter we'll continue what are the practice doing. That's the reason we did not touch the particular section. But Dr. Sobitha Nayakatero can brief what are the activities he's doing, or otherwise I can do it.
Okay, in brief, yeah. And then I want to say, welcome that the Kerala sisters question also. And then now we are having one Kerala monk with me, my disciple and another disciple from Chennai. They are now conducting their studies well here, Kerala and Chennai. And then in brief, if I explain the works of Bodhiraja Foundation, nowadays we are conducting one monks educational programs here. There are residence monks, 73 resident monks in this center. And then again, we are providing languages as well as those social welfare works and Buddhism and other religious knowledge and also the social welfare works. And then we are conducting 5 children homes. And then 1 sexually abused child mothers home, and 2 elderly homes, one for men and the other one for women, and then 1 handicapped children, and another 2 schools for especially needy children, those who are having some physical and mental abilities, particularly, physical and mental abilities, still they can be helped by education. I am having 2 schools. It's a very, very difficult part, difficult service. But we are conducting 2 such schools. And then we are also having mischievous children's training center. That is that they do not know that they are being trained anyway. Those mischievous children we attracted, given by food, some eateries, some short eating. Afternoon, then they are attracted, and we are giving, we are providing some activities, not that academic knowledge. Later on, actually, they become very well behaved, and also they will work with the normal stream with the other children. And then again, another section is animal welfare. Animal welfare work. We are conducting 1 cattle sanctuary. Those cattle were to be slaughtered, were to be killed, and we are given by the courts and also some people, and we protect those cattle in that particular land. We are having 100-acre land, and then we provide them food and shelter and medicine. So nowadays there are about 120 cattle. We do not take milk, but we take their cow dung and urine for the fertilizer. And another service is the service for the welfare work of the animals. I am conducting the Justice for Animals and Nature organization. Justice for Animals and Nature means those dogs, elephants, and various type of animals. We are come against the injustice, whatever injustice on them, we come forward, and we are having many court cases also. We are having many court cases. And then we are having some cases in the Supreme Court also for the side of the animals, for the welfare of the animals. We work with the other lawyers. We are being helped by the lawyers. And then again, 5 Sunday schools also we are conducting. And what else, Venerable Somananda? Yeah, we are doing such, and again, eye donation program. We are donating eye, that means the outer layer, what you call that, the eye donation. Yeah, eye donation and limb donation program also going on. And then the program for the pregnant ladies, that means we conduct it once a 3 months time. We bring those various parts of the area. We help those pregnant ladies, and spiritual side as well as material side, both. And then scholarships, nowadays we are conducting more than 50 scholarships for various great children. Yeah, and then there are such programs going on. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So many activities, so many programs. Still 5 minutes are not enough to list all programs or activities you are involved. So thank you very much again, and I would like to close the session on history